Hello students. Now today we are going to start the topic polynomials from your standard 10th. So as you know, you have studied this topic in your previous class also. So you know what is an polynomial. Also you know what are the different types of polynomial based on the number of terms and also on the degree. Whereas you also have seen 2-3 theorems, that is a factor theorem, remainder theorem, and also how to factorize by making use of algebraic identities. Okay, so let us first of all do a quick recap of everything. Now what is a polynomial? If I am dealing with a polynomial in one variable, yes, so a polynomial in one variable, so what are the conditions? That the polynomial should have only one variable, whereas the second condition is the degree of the equation should be a whole number, isn't it? If the degree is not a whole number, then we don't call it as a polynomial. It could be an algebraic expression, but it is not a polynomial. For example, if I write 3 under root x plus 2 x square equal to say 5. Now as you can see, this x could be written as 1 by 2 by because it is in root. Similarly, this x square which is present in the bottom, if you shift it to the numerator, it will become x raised to minus 2. As you can see, the powers of the variable, they are not the whole numbers, hence the given expression is not a polynomial. Okay, so the next one is the polynomials are classified into different types based on the number of terms. Yes, as you can see in this equation, there are 3 terms. So similarly, if there is one term in the polynomial, it is called as monomial, whereas if there are 2 terms, it is called as binomial. If there are 3 terms, it is called as trinomial. Okay, similarly, depending upon the degree. So what is an degree? What is the definition of degree? Degree is the highest power of the variable in the given expression. Okay, for example, x cube minus 4x square plus 5 equal to 0. As you can see, the degree of this variable is 3, whereas the degree of this variable is 2. Now which is the highest one? 3, and hence it is called as the degree of the given expression. So similarly, if the degree of the polynomial is 1, what is it called? It is called a linear polynomial, whereas if the degree is 2, it is called as quadratic, whereas if the degree is 3, it is called a cubic. So whenever you are dealing with the degree, it is not necessary that the number of terms should be equal to the degree. I mean, if I am saying that the degree of the given polynomial is cubic, it is not necessary that there should be 3 terms in it. Yes, only the degree of the given expression has to be cubic, and it could happen that there is only single term present in the equation. So x cube, if I am writing, what is the degree of this equation? It is 3. So it is a cubic polynomial. But if you compare it with the number of terms, as you can see, there is only one term. So hence it is a monomial. So number of terms and degree, they are not related. Only the highest power of the expression has to be the one which is specified, right? Now what will be the degree? What will be the type of polynomial if the degree of the equation is 0? Yes, you have learned this in your previous class. Do you remember the concept as zero polynomial, whereas constant polynomial? Yes, so these two type of polynomials you have seen in your previous class, isn't it? What is a zero polynomial? A polynomial whose value is 0 is called as zero polynomial. For example, if I write 0 x cube, isn't the value of this polynomial 0? Because x cube multiplied with 0, it will always give you a 0. Whereas a constant polynomial is what? A polynomial in which if there is only a constant present. Now if it is just a constant, why do we call it as a polynomial? Yes, because I can write it as x raised to 0, isn't it? Because x raised to 0 will give me the value 1, and which means 5 into 1 is nothing but 5. So the value of the expression remains same, isn't it? So whenever you are taking a constant polynomial, even though there isn't any variable, but you can always take a variable with the power at 0, and hence it is termed as a polynomial. So as you can see here, the degree of the polynomial has compulsorily to be 0 if it is a constant polynomial, whereas in a zero polynomial the degree could be anything, and hence the degree of a zero polynomial is said to be undefined. So in this case, if the degree of is 0, we call it as a constant polynomial. Okay, so this is everything depending upon the classification. The next thing which you have learned is zeros of the polynomial. Now what is meant by zeros? Yes, so before that, let us see, suppose there is one polynomial as p of x, okay, where let us take example 3x square plus 5, right? If I put the value of x as k in this given polynomial, okay, meaning wherever there is x, I will replace it with k, and hence what will I get? I will get 3k square plus 5. Yes, so now this value which you have obtained is nothing but the p of k. Now why I have written it k instead of x? Because now I have replaced x with k, hence the expression will be read as p of k. Okay, so the expression wherein when x is replaced with k, where k is any real number, so the value so obtained is said to be p of k, isn't it? Now from this we could say what is the zeros of the polynomial. If p of k is 0, then k is called the zeros of the polynomial. What does it mean? It means after you replace x with k, if the value of the polynomial comes out to be 0, it means k is the zero of that polynomial. Zeros means the value for which the given expression turns out to be 0 is called the zeros of the polynomial. So in this case, as you can see here, I have just taken one example. So if you replace x with k, where k, suppose if you take any value and once you solve the expression and you get the value as 0, then the respective the respective real number is said to be zeros of the given polynomial. Okay, so this is the next thing what we have seen further. Yes, now whatever we have seen, let us try to see, is there any relation between the zero of the polynomial with respect to its graphical representation. Okay, so suppose if we take the equation of the graph and try to plot it, and then let us see if there is any relation between the zeros of the polynomial whereas its graphical representation. Graphical representation means you have to consider a equation and you have to plot it in on the graph. You already know how to plot it. Okay, so now let us go by step by step. First of all, I will be considering a linear equation. Okay, suppose I am considering the example as y is equal to x plus 5. Okay, now this is my Cartesian plane, isn't it? Or let us take x plus 3, right? So this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, the positive coordinates, whereas the negative ones, similarly the positive y and the negative y. Okay, this is your origin. Now how do we plot this point? For taking different values of x, we try to see what values of y we get. Suppose I take x equal to 0. What do I get? It gives y is equal to 3. Okay, so this is my first value. Whereas what if I take y is equal to 0? What if I take y is equal to 0? What do I get for the value of x? So these two values will tell you what will be the where will the line intersect on x and y axis. So whenever I take x equal to 0, I get y value as 0. When I take y as 0, what will happen? This x will go on this side, so x value I will get as minus 3. Okay, so let us try to plot it in this way. So x0 and y3. So here it is the point, right? Similarly y0 and x minus 3. So this is the another point. So this is minus 3 0, whereas this is 0 comma 3. Let us try to draw a line passing through this point. Yes, the equation of line, we write it on the line. So y is equal to x plus 3, isn't it? So this is the equation of the line. Fair enough. Now, do you remember in your previous class you have seen how to find the zero of a linear polynomial? What is the standard form of linear polynomial? Ax plus b equal to 0, isn't it? Or ax plus b, just ax plus b. That is the standard form. But if I have to find its 0, what do? I equate it with 0 so that I will get the value of x as minus b by a. Okay, so this was one theorem which you have seen to find the zero of a linear polynomial, isn't it? Now let us compare it with this equation. Y is equal to x plus 3. Here y is nothing but your p of x. Okay, so you can write it as p of x also. So p of x is equal to x plus 3. If you compare it with the standard form, what is the value of a? The coefficient of x, that is 1. Whereas what is the value of b? The coefficient, the constant term, that is minus 3. So what will be the zero of that polynomial? It will be minus b by a. That is minus of, sorry, here it should be plus 3. Now why do I take minus 3? I don't know. So here it will be minus 3 by 1, which is nothing but minus 3. It means the zero of the given linear polynomial, this one, is at what value? When x is equal to minus 3, you get the zero of that respective polynomial. Come back to our figure. Yes, what you can see, for what value of x do I got the equation value as 0, that is minus 3, and it is the same value where the graph of the line has intersected x-axis. So as you can see, this graph has intersected x-axis at point minus 3, 0, and this is the value of x which we have got by placing it in the formula. So what can you say from this? Can I say that the zero of a linear polynomial is the point on x-axis where the line intersects x-axis? Because that is not the case with y-axis. As you can see, I have got only one value, minus 3, because you are dealing with the value of x. So definitely you will be considering the values present on x. Yes, so I can say that the zero of the linear polynomial is the value where the graph intersects x-axis. Okay, so you can check it for other values also, you will get this same answer. It is the point where the graph intersects x-axis, and that point or that value is said to be the zero of the given polynomial, which we have verified. Now, is this the case applicable only with respect to linear polynomial? What if the polynomial is a quadratic polynomial? Let us see. Instead of 0, what if the polynomial is a quadratic polynomial? Quadratic, as just now as I have said, the degree 2. So let us take y is equal to x square minus 3x minus 4. Okay, now putting different values. So let us take the value of x and y. If I take value of x as minus 2, I get the value of y as 6. If I take the value of x as minus 1, I get the value of y as 0. If I take value of x as 0, I get the value as minus 4. If I take it as 1, I get minus 6. If I take the value as 2, then I will get again as, if the value of x is 1, I get the value as minus 6, whereas for 2 also I get the value as minus 6. So now let us try to plot it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So instead of drawing it completely, I will draw a rough graph so that you will understand it. So if you try to plot it, you can see the graph of the polynomial would be like this, wherein it intersects the x-axis at point minus 1 comma 0, and here it intersects at 4 comma 0. Okay, suppose this is 1, 2, 3, this is 4, 5, and 6. Similarly, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, so this is the graph of the equation for the given polynomial x square minus 3x equal to 4. So as you can see, here the graph is intersecting x-axis at 2 points. Okay, and the values of x are Here the value of x is -1, whereas here the value of x is 4. Now you know how to find the zeros of a quadratic polynomial also, isn't it? By the method of factorization. Okay, so let us find the zeros of this given polynomial. It says x square minus 3x minus 4. I have to equate it with 0 by splitting the middle term. Factors of 4 whose subtraction is 3, they are 4 and 1. Since the sign is minus, this will minus and this will be plus. So x square minus 4x plus x minus 4 equal to 0. Taking common, I get x minus 4 in one bracket plus 1 x minus 4 in one bracket equal to 0, which gives me x plus 1 in one bracket, which I will equate it with 0, or x minus 4 is equal to 0. So value of x I am getting as -1 or 4. So as you can see, these are the two values for which the given polynomial has value 0, or these are the zeros of the given polynomial, isn't it? And from the graph also you can see for the same two values the graph has intersected the x-axis. Here it is intersecting at -1 0, whereas here it is intersecting at 4 0. So here the value of x is -1, here it is 4, and these are the same two values for which the equation has value 0. Yes, so what we can see, it is not the condition only with respect to linear polynomial. Also with respect to quadratic polynomial, we can say wherever the graph intersects x-axis, that are the zeros of the respective polynomial, and this is applicable for all type of polynomials, not just linear or quadratic, for cubic also, or for the polynomial with degree 4, degree 5, and in every polynomial. That is the situation that whenever the graph intersects x-axis, the points at which it intersects are nothing but the zeros of the given polynomial. Okay, so from the graph also we can tell what are the zeros of the given polynomial, isn't it? Yes, but is the graph of a quadratic polynomial always in this way itself? It means will it always intersect the x-axis at 2 points? Because as we know, a quadratic has degree 2, and whatever is the degree of the equation, that many roots it has. Yes, that we have seen in our previous class. The degree of the equation tells us how many roots it has. Now here, since the degree is 2, so I have got as 2 roots. It means will the graph of a quadratic polynomial always intersect the x-axis at 2 points? Yes, let us see. Now this is not the case with each and every polynomial. If I try to draw a graph like this, or the same graph, if I move it upside in such a way that it intersects the x-axis at only one point. One thing is for sure, that the graph of the quadratic polynomial will always be of this shape, and the shape of this is called as parabola. Parabola. Okay, so graph of quadratic equation will always be a parabola. Either it will be opening upwards or either it will be opening downwards, like this. It could be of any direction, but the graph will always be a parabola. Okay, now here it was intersecting the x-axis at 2 points. Here it is intersecting the x-axis at 1 point. What if I move it little above? Now here this graph is not at all intersecting the x-axis. So even that is also a case. This is also a case of a quadratic polynomial. This is also a graph of a quadratic polynomial. Even this is also the graph and this is also the graph. So from these three cases, what you can say? We can say that just like in our previous class, we said that it has two roots. Here we will be changing it and we will be saying that it has at most two roots. Now what is the meaning of at most? At most means maximum it should have two roots, but the condition is it could have one root also, or it could have no root also. Okay, so that is the case for a quadratic polynomial. A quadratic polynomial at most has two roots. If this is an example, as you can see, it is intersecting x-axis at 2 points, so it will have this, the graph the zeros of this graph will be two roots, whereas if the equation of the graph is like this, the figure you have getting it like this, then in this case it has only one root, whereas if you get a figure like this, as you can see, it will not have any root. Okay, so the condition is at most it has two roots. In for what type of polynomial? For a quadratic polynomial. Okay, now let us see for a cubic polynomial also. So we will not derive, because from this two we have already got to know that the graph intersects x-axis at what many points that are the zeros for the given polynomial, and it is applicable to polynomials of all degrees. Only just for the reference, let us see that what could be the shape of a cubic polynomial. Just like for a quadratic it is a parabola, for a cubic polynomial the shape could be like this. Okay, this is one case. Another case, the shape could be like this also. Yes, further the shape could be like this. Okay, so now it depends upon the it depends upon what value of a it is there. So accordingly it will be in either a positive side or negative side. So that is not our concern. Our concern is how many roots it has. So as you can see here, the graph is intersecting x-axis at only one point, so it will have one root. Here it is intersecting at 2 points. This is one point. Actually I had to wanted to draw it like this. So this is one point, this is another point, so two roots, whereas here 1, 2 and 3. So this has three roots. Okay, fine. So as you can see, just like the quadratic polynomial, even here also I could say that a cubic polynomial has at most three roots. Okay, at most three roots, two roots or one root. But in case of a cubic polynomial, you cannot say that the given polynomial is not having any root. Just like for the quadratic, we have said that it could have zero root also. But that is not applicable with the cubic polynomial, and neither for the linear polynomial. So what does it mean? It means that the polynomial whose degree is odd. Yes, linear polynomial with degree 1, whereas cubic polynomial with degree 3. So these are the odd polynomials with odd degree. They will always have at least one zero. They will always have at least one zero. Definitely they should be having at least one zero. It is not possible that they will not have a zero at all. But for the quadratic polynomial, it is the case that it could have zero zeros, but not with a linear or cubic. Why? Because their degree is odd. So for the degree 5, 7 and so on, they should have minimum 1 0. But maximum will be whatever is the degree of the given polynomial, isn't it? So this is what the graphical relation between the zeros of the polynomial. If the degree is 1, then it will intersect the x-axis at one point. If the degree is 2, it will intersect the x-axis at most 2 points, whereas if the degree is 3, it will intersect at most 3 points. What if the degree is 5? It will intersect at most 5 points. Okay, so this is what the graphical representation is. From the graph also you can find the zeros of the given polynomial.